Hey, PJ, thank you so much for joining us. I know that you were on the Knight Circle whenever Kelbo was knighted, and he unfortunately didn't wasn't around very long until his accident after he got knighted. I was really happy to see that his knighting was able to happen before then. But as someone who was on the circle at that time when he came in, Shalazar wanted to ask you a few questions about being there when he was inducted into the peerage.
Yeah, PJ. Anyone that doesn't know him by PJ, this is Sir Pumpkin Jack. Thanks for coming on today, buddy. It's an honor that you came to do this podcast in celebration of my man Kelbo's life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to be here. I mean, it's because of the situation that I'm on here. I mean, it's a remembrance for a man we
Yeah, man.
know about.
This is all about the uplifting things that he did during his life that touched all of our lives that we want to remember and we want to celebrate instead of the crappy day that this day has brought to all of us the past couple years. So my first question, like Flo was mentioning, when Sir Kelbo was first knighted, what were some of the things that he was working on to help the Neverwinter COK?
So one of the first things that happened was that he got thrown under the bus, as most new knights do. Um,
As we do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So basically, nose goes, you're under the bus. Congratulations, you're now the new guild master of knights, even though you're newly knighted and you don't really know what's all going on. Even though, I mean, he'd been monarch for a while, so he kind of knew what was going on because it's a privilege to the monarch to get to be on the knights list or the knights circle page for us, at least for Neverwinter. Um, One of the biggest things he did implement, though, he revised our spreadsheet, our rubric, as you put earlier, um, and put through everybody who was at eighth order and above before the Crown Ladder awards were put into place. We had to go by the point conversion, which was confusing as all mess at times, because the way it was set up, you could get points for serving at high-level local office, like Grand Duchy and Duchy level, or you can get points for doing Kingdom office, Champion, Regent, Monarch, and Prime Minister. So he went through and actually did a point conversion chart as to how things played out. I actually had it pulled up in front of me. So I don't think you guys want to go into the specifics of that. It's probably a lot more than that. But that was one of the biggest things he did implement in his short time as a Guild Master of Knights.
Now, what are some of the things that you guys still use today that he helped work on when he was first brought into the Night Circle?
That's the biggest thing I can remember. Actually, I haven't really been as active in the last couple months as I'd like to be, but as I said in the last time I was on, taking a personal leave of absence.
But I think all of us needs to do that every now and then.
Yeah,
I think even Kelbo took a leave, which is one of the reasons why he probably wasn't knighted way back in the day. Was because he took a leave of absence when he got married and had that beautiful son, who's just as smart as he is, which is crazy to think about how smart he is, and can't wait to see what he grows up to be.
Yeah, I mean, he was intelligent almost to a fault, it feels like. He just knew things that were going on that probably no one else probably put together. It was...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Justin, when that man called me for advice, I was just like, what? No. It was less advice and more just a sounding board.
He was confirming things that he knew. Yeah, he was one of those guys that, like, it's not that he wouldn't accept advice. He would absolutely accept advice. But very often, too, he was calling someone that he trusted to give a good, fair, honest opinion, and was walking through some things that he was trying to put together, had already put together.
Yeah, I know one of the biggest things, there was a couple bannings that took place under his last reign as monarch. when I was KPM that we had to talk about, and it was stressful. There was really no right answer, but he did well enough in those terms that he requalified, because he actually initially, when I was king, he initially qualified for his knighthood, but when things came about that somebody defrauded the kingdom, that he declined it the first time.
Yeah, and we mentioned it before on this podcast. We talked about it in other people's podcasts or recordings. That he and it was. I mean, it was an emotional time. It was an emotional time because everybody was pretty angry with him about not angry in a good way, not angry in a bad way.
Yeah,
about not taking his belt, and I mean, I'd never been more proud. I would have loved to seen him get his belt, and I tried to talk him into taking his belt anyway. But once he had made his decision, he had made his decision. There was no change in his mind, as we've all seen him do. So, but I mean, I was proud of him. Because it proved how much he truly deserved the belt, which is weird because it's like, look, I'm gonna support your decision, but it also proves how much you truly deserve it. So it was a beautiful thing to be able to drop the sword. So it sucks that you weren't the king though at the time. So
that does suck. I was the only person that was even close to qualifying when I was king, and I was like, I get to knight somebody. That's the biggest thing I want to do, and I didn't get to, especially someone I looked up to like that. Like it would have been such a huge honor. I mean, it was still an honor to be part of the Knights Circle, to be part of the line and everything.
I could tell you right now that it was still an honor to him that you wanted to knight him. I can tell you that. He and I talked like hours about stuff like that. So
trust me, I could talk to that man for hours on end.
yeah. Well, yeah, we all could. That's for sure. Yeah, we could all do that. Yeah.
He did tell me shortly right before he got his belt, when he actually accepted it the second time, that the reason why he didn't get it, or he didn't take it, was he didn't want to look bad for future crown knights or future knights in general, that something can go so wrong like this and you can still get the accolade. It just to him, it felt like it lowered the bar. So
he absolutely
relearn it himself. I didn't fault him after he explained it like that, because everyone was just like, no, we're gonna give it to you anyway. I know Tree was like that. She was like, you're getting it anyway, regardless. And that's just yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it was I had to support him, one, because he was my squire and I'm going to support whatever he does, but two, I mean, it made sense. And that's like the running theme of all these recordings, all these interviews, is that the guy was, he was completely straight headed, while I'm this hothead, he was my calming center. So, and that's the way he ran his life,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just fantastic. So, but I want to ask you one more question and then I'll let you go. I appreciate you coming. But my last question, and this is a question I'm going to ask everybody: what was your favorite memory with Kelbo?
Like, honestly, I mean, in the years that I knew him, like, how do you even, probably cliche answer, but how do you choose just one memory, honestly?
You're not the only one that said something similar. So
yeah,
by all means, give me a couple if you want.
I mean, the first one that comes to mind is like the most almost like generic to me, because almost every event that he and I were at on Saturday night after court, we would just sit in the feast hall and just talk. Doesn't matter about what it was. It would be venting about his relationship. It would be venting about his personal life, just dumb stuff. People that walk by, picking on them lightheartedly, not actually like being mean to them, but like getting them to join the conversation as well. Let's see, we've traveled across the country a couple times. We traveled to Winter's Edge a few times. one of the biggest things that actually comes to mind is we were driving the last time we went to Clan together, when he was king the second time, technically a third time. It was like middle of the night, and we're driving through, I think, Louisiana, and all of a sudden I wake up and I see blue lights in our rearview mirror. And I'm like, oh God, what's going on? You get pulled over. Cop goes up to you. He goes up to Kelbo and goes, you know how fast you're going? I was like, well, speed limit said, it was like 75. Cop goes, no, it's 55. It's 55? Like, it's just, that part sticks in my head, and just, to me, it's one of the funniest, surrealist things. Because apparently he hadn't got a speeding ticket in like almost 20 years. Thankfully, the cop would have the warning because it was late at night. But that's just something that sticks in my head. And that just, but that man drove like 24 hours straight from my house to New Mexico, where Clan was taking place. And before that, he actually drove the 3 hours up from his house after picking up Rita to my house. But he didn't sleep. He survived Mountain Dew.
Yeah, absolutely. Golwyn would always tell us stories of how he would drive from Brandon, Florida, all the way to Texas. And that's like a 14-hour drive or something stupid. I don't know how much it is. I know someone's going to...
My house is 19 hours. I didn't know this because I was dating a girl in Texas not too long, or like a couple years ago, and she would come visit. So, but that's crazy.
Oh, what a great guy you are. She would come visit, huh? You would never go visit her? What a dirtbag. You're a dirtball, man.
I offered, but I was never allowed to.
Oh, okay. So she was keeping your relationship under wraps. I get it. All right, that makes more sense.
The entire time, actually, yeah, that actually happened. I'm lying.
Oh man.
There's no chance of her hearing.
Can't make these stories up, folks. Can't make these stories up. But no, yeah, he definitely hear. I've heard many a story from Golwyn and those guys about how in the beginning, when Neverwinter was just beginning, he would drive all the way, like wouldn't let anyone else drive. He would do all the driving. And he would drive straight fucking through. It blows my mind. It doesn't surprise me. To be honest, it doesn't surprise me. It blew my mind back then when I heard the story.
Yeah.
But once I started road dogging it with him, it's not surprising at all, because the man is just a workhorse when it comes to being a driver. It's almost like the guy was meant to be a truck driver and just decided to go into computers or something.
Honestly, whatever he did, though, he was a workhorse towards. Like, he put
it's true.
Towards.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. No matter what he was doing, man, he did it. He did it with the utmost certainty of getting it done correctly. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Flo, did you have anything else to add, buddy?
Just that I love hearing the stories. It's Kelbo, for me, was always one of those people that I could sit down in the feast hall with, to PJ, and BS with and have a good time, and was a source of information as well. I think that a lot of people would say that. So I'm right there with you, buddy.
And have said that, yeah.
Yeah, and have said that, yeah. I'm right there with you, buddy. He was one of those guys. You know, you knew that he was always there for you, because he had proven that he was always going to be there for you.
Yeah, I mean, he would literally give you the shirt off his back if you needed it. Like,
yeah, that's been said a couple of times.
There was an event I was supposed to go to, and I was like, I can't afford it. He was like, don't worry, I'll pay for your way. Just come on. I was like, I'm not comfortable with that. I found a way to pay for it myself, but the fact that he was willing to do that just to pay for my gas to get to an event, it almost blew my mind, because not a lot of people would do that for you.
No, absolutely. There's probably one other person I know in the game that would do something like that, and that's Sir Bjorn. He's
I remember
someone that. Oh yeah, man, he's awesome. He's an awesome dude. But he was someone that would do something like that too. But I mean, those type of people are few and far between. There's not a lot out there that would just be willing to make sure you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
And if that means paying for your gas to get to the event or paying for your gate fee or whatever the case may be, I mean, they were, he was willing to do it. And it was to make sure that you had fun. And that's a rare quality to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate and adore you, brother. And I appreciate the fact that you came on, and it was an honor to talk with you and share your stories about Kelbo, who was all of our friends. So,
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate that, man.
Well, I'm glad I could be on. I'm glad I caught your message in time too, because I would have probably been heartbroken had I actually missed all this.
Yeah. I mean, I think we mentioned this in another one or one that's going to be after yours. That I could have put a post on Facebook and said, "Hey, does anyone want to be on this podcast?" And we would have been recording for years. I mean, absolute years. Yeah. So
podcast channel, just remembering Kelbo.
Yeah. No shoot. Yeah. I don't know why I keep trying to censor myself when I've dropped the F-bomb like 20 times already on all these recordings. So, I mean, I think we've already lost our PG-13 rating.
It's okay. We have the explicit warning on the channel. It's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he told me that last time too. I still don't swear that often when it comes to online. So,
in all fairness, they use my voiceover in the beginning intro to the podcast where I'm dropping the F-bomb. So, I mean, I'm not known for that at all.
Well, PJ, thank you so much for joining us. It really means a lot, man.
Well, like I said, thank you for having me. I'm glad I could, at least contribute a little bit.
Oh, no, you contributed a lot, man. Thanks.